The story starts with an interview featuring Andrew Kincade, CEO of Sentinel, a global gaming powerhouse. Notorious for his stance against the right to bear arms, Kincade suggests channeling violence into video games instead of real-life firearms. Orson Creed, Sentinel's top security officer, watches the interview with his wife Abby. The interviewer delves into Orson's push to involve Sentinel in military contracts. Abby, sensing urgency, urges Orson to prepare for their departure, but he remains fixated on the interview. Kincade dismisses Orson's past attempts to claim intellectual property, assuring this will be his last. Tension mounts as Orson, disturbed by the interview, finds solace in Abby, who's relieved he differs from Kincade. The couple's plans are abruptly halted as armed men invade their home, kidnapping Abby. As Orson attempts to wield a knife in self-defense, he's swiftly subdued by one of the assailants. The scene transitions to a Sentinel employee named Bernard, delivering a package to Max Troy, a renowned video game champion and the company's beta tester. The package contains the latest Sentinel game that Max is slated to beta test. Inserting the game into his computer, Max receives a call from Princess, a female Sentinel tech support worker. Despite never having seen her, Max has developed feelings for her over the years. Following his pre-game ritual, Max activates the game, and Princess informs him that unlike other games, he can't modify this one. To his dismay, she reveals that in this game, players immerse themselves in the real world. The narrative then shifts back to Orson's home, now ransacked by the goons. Abby observes as the assailants attach a device to the unconscious Orson's neck. Activating the device, they depart with Abby in a truck as Orson regains consciousness. Max delves into the game, instantly captivated by its style and realistic features. Noticing the absence of a menu, options, and loading time, Max is intrigued. As he explores the virtual world, he stumbles upon a picture featuring Orson and his wife Abby. Examining his character in the mirror, Max senses the underlying anger. Despite bloodstains on the walls, he dismisses them. In the game, Max's character explores Orson's virtual house and discovers a mobile phone in the kitchen with a message prompting him to play a video. Zane, one of the earlier goons, addresses Orson, revealing that Orson is Max's video game character. Shockingly, the events in the game mirror real-world consequences. Orson is informed that a series of tests awaits him, each with a 90-minute time limit. Failure results in Abby losing a part of her body per objective. Orson's first mission is to covertly infiltrate the National Bank during an imminent robbery and retrieve the contents of safety deposit box 1121. Sweating profusely, Orson, controlled by Max, is guided out of the virtual house and into a parked car. Max grapples with starting the car, unaware that the game is intricately synced with real-life consequences. Max navigates the challenges of the game with Princess by his side. As Max's character leaves, media reports emerge, detailing the ongoing robbery at the Southtown branch of the National Bank. Upon reaching the bank, Max surveys the area for a secure entry point. Eventually, he infiltrates the bank through a window as the robbery unfolds. Crawling through the bank, he encounters a frightened bank employee attempting to escape the clutches of the robbers. Max questions the lady about safety deposit box 1121, but she deems him crazy and warns of imminent danger. Unfazed, Orson insists on proceeding, and the lady reluctantly directs him to her desk. Orson secures the keys from the drawer and heads to the locker room. As he approaches the box, Max briefly loses signal while Orson regains consciousness, attempting to remove the device on his neck. However, Max swiftly regains control, allowing Orson to open the deposit box. Inside, they discover a gun and a note instructing them to eliminate the robbers and take the money. Princess reminds Max to avoid harming hostages, emphasizing that it could lead to mission failure. Max reassures her, asserting that he can always reload and auto-save the game. With determination, Max, as Orson, prepares to tackle the challenges posed by the game and save Abby. Max continues his intense gameplay, successfully taking down the robbers and securing the money. The hostages scream in horror as Orson and the robbers engage in a fierce exchange of gunfire. Max, in control of Orson, manages to grab the money and escape in a car to a safe location. Wanting to take a break, Max attempts to pause the game, but to his surprise, the game doesn't respond. Princess offers to investigate the issue, and while Max heads to the kitchen, he notices the lady from the bank on TV giving an interview about the robbery. She recounts Orson Creed saving her life, and Max is struck by the realization that the events in the video game are mirroring real-life occurrences. Fearing the consequences, Max decides to call the police, but his efforts are thwarted by the "Down and Play 911" game. Confronting Princess about the unfolding chaos, Max is urged to keep playing. However, he defies her advice and attempts to turn off the game. Suddenly, Zane appears on the screen, delivering a chilling warning to Max. He is told that any attempt to halt the game or involve the authorities will result in Princess's death, and Max will be framed for the bank robbery. The stakes are higher than Max could have imagined, forcing him to continue navigating this perilous and unpredictable game. Max discovers that the money he acquired in the game has been deposited into his real bank account, and Zane's henchmen have surrounded his property. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Max, left with no choice, reluctantly continues playing the dangerous game. Zane, controlling the game, directs Max to go to a private school a few miles north, where a shooting incident is set to occur. During the drive to the school, Max confronts Princess about her involvement in the unfolding chaos. She attempts to explain that she had no choice, but Max remains skeptical. As they approach the school, Orson is instructed to protect the shooter from the police, adding another layer of complexity to the harrowing scenario. The suspense and tension escalate as Max grapples with the unsettling realization that the events in the game have significant consequences in the real world. Orson, inside the school, encounters the troubled school shooter. Despite attempting to intervene, the boy pleads with Orson, revealing that Zane would harm his mother if he interferes. Orson reluctantly allows the shooter to escape and finds himself under attack from school security. With skill and efficiency, Orson takes down the security personnel but is left emotionally shaken as he witnesses the tragic consequences of his actions, watching the boy harm more innocent children. Meanwhile, Max, overwhelmed by the moral dilemma of aiding the school shooter, abruptly ends Zane's call and takes matters into his own hands. He dials his own phone number, defying Princess's protests, and finally communicates with Orson, sharing the disturbing details of the interconnected game and reality. The narrative then shifts to Kincade's apartment, where Abby is held hostage. It is unveiled that Kincade and Abby share a history, and Kincade inquires whether Orson is aware of their past relationship. Abby reacts with anger. Simultaneously, Max guides Orson back to his home, setting the stage for a complex and suspenseful resolution as the characters grapple with the intertwining threads of the game and reality. After successfully fending off Zane's henchmen, Orson and Max finally meet, but Orson is unable to speak due to the device on his neck. Max urges Princess to unblock Orson's speech frequency, threatening to sever ties if she doesn't comply. Reluctantly, Princess unblocks the frequency, allowing Orson to communicate. Orson immediately suspects that Max's house is bugged, a claim that Max initially finds hard to believe. Orson then discloses that he designed every security protocol for Sentinel, including the surveillance measures on everything Max received from the company. With the apartment debugged, Max and Orson sit down for a drink and delve into a conversation about Sentinel. Orson reveals his pivotal role in creating the technology that connects people to video game characters. And it is called Control X, initially designed as a prototype for surveillance. Orson believed it was better suited for military applications, drawing from his experiences as a former soldier who lost close friends to war. Control X aimed to create stronger soldiers with fast reflexes and enhanced awareness, providing them with two sets of eyes. Orson asserts that Kincade's interests extend beyond gun control and hints at ulterior motives. During their conversation, Max notices a chip on Orson's neck, emitting loud beeping noises when a remote control is brought near it. Orson requests Max to remove the chip, but Max hesitates, needing a moment to prepare. Strangely, he drags an unconscious henchman named Professional into the house. Kincade's live feed is disrupted, causing a disturbance in the communication. When the feed resumes, Kincade discovers that Orson has successfully removed the chip. Left with no other option, Kincade reveals himself to Max and threatens to kill Princess if he doesn't comply. To demonstrate his capability, Kincade kills a random female Sentinel employee. Left with no choice, Max reluctantly agrees to play the game again. Through the game, Abby gives Max the next task. Orson must go to the ground floor of the Needle, where Caleb Angelo is having dinner. Orson is assigned to kill Angelo. In a surprising twist, Orson reveals that, unbeknownst to Kincade, he has inserted the Sentinel chip into Professional's neck. Moreover, Orson has figured out Kincade's true intentions. He discloses that Angelo owns 51% of the world's largest server file, while Kincade only holds 40%. With Angelo out of the way, Kincade could seize all of Angelo's shares and gain control over the world. After learning about Kincade's evil plans, Max guides Professional to the Needle while Orson goes to confront Kincade and save his wife. On his way to the Needle, Max receives a call from Princess, who reveals that she is safe now and offers to help him. Max intercepts Angelo's motorcade near the famous skyscraper and kills Angelo. However, Kincade becomes suspicious when Angelo doesn't recognize Orson before being killed. Orson arrives outside Kincade's office, and Zane and his henchmen try to stop him. However, Orson easily neutralizes the goons and heads to Kincade's office. There, Kincade threatens to shoot Abby, and Orson is forced to surrender himself. Moreover, Zane's other henchman, named the Surgeon, has subdued Max in his apartment. Orson asks Kincade why he shot up a school, and the latter reveals that the children are casualties of war, intended to pressure the government into passing the gun control bill. The gun control bill, proposed by Kincade, aims to limit guns to games. An unhinged Kincade argues that sometimes, to make things better, you need to start by making them worse. Orson counters, stating that Kincade has no right to control people, even if they make mistakes. As Orson engages Kincade in a heated argument, Max covertly drives Professional to his home, right under the Surgeon's nose. Before the goon realizes it, Professional appears and takes him out at the Sentinel HQ. Meanwhile, Orson takes on Kincade, and Abby manages to eliminate Kincade's remaining goon. In the final showdown, Max arrives at the HQ just in time. Kincade almost kills Orson until Max intervenes, shooting Kincade dead. Max, now the CEO of Sentinel, pledges to return the company back to its roots, focused on humanity.